I'm Vijaya, back with the attorneys of the NPZ Law Group, providing counsel to organizations and individuals worldwide on complex US and Canadian immigration and nationality law issues. And we have David Knockman, founder and, of course, the managing attorney, and Gaganjot Mundra, Canadian attorney barrister, with us. And David and Gagan, quick question for you is to do from the Canadian immigration perspective, the visitor visa and the ability to work from Canada. How does it all work?
It's a great question, Vijay. And actually, so our firm is a little different than most other immigration firms in the country and in the world, because what we do is we handle cross-border work. So Gagan and I work very closely together, oftentimes because we have individuals who are passing over the border because we have businesses in Canada, we have businesses in the United States, and we also have businesses down in Mexico. So we have to sort of balance, the entries and exits and so on. And so one of the areas where we get into a little bit of a sticky thicket, we would say, is with regard to visitors, because the definition of a person who's coming to visit is that their intention is to visit and then to return someplace. Mm-hmm. But obviously there's certain indicia that what we refer to as CBP, Customs and Border Protection, when they're interviewing someone for admission, they look to see whether or not the individual is truly a visitor or whether they have a different intention. So Gagan, with regard to Canadian, what are the officials who work for CIC, the folks at the border, what are they looking for in a visitor?
That's an absolutely important question at this point when everybody's planning their summer vacations, visiting families in Canada, or even just visiting Canada generally. So a lot of these times, what we've seen is what is the objective of entering Canada? Of course, as US citizens or even as a green card holder, we don't require any visitor visa for Canada. But then at the port, the officer is always looking at the intention of entering Canada and the reasons behind it. So in one of the cases, if this instance where an individual was a mechanic by a profession and he had a toolkit in his car, the officer was very suspicious and actually did not allow this individual to enter Canada, thinking that he is trying to work in Canada versus not visit his family or friends there. So a lot of these times we have to be careful in guiding our clients what your intention is and where you are traveling, for what reason. That is very important at the port.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great point. And also, I think one of the other things that we should point out is that we always tell our clients, if they're coming to visit, they shouldn't be traveling with tons of luggage, because if they're traveling with tons of luggage, an officer is pretty well trained. They're going to look at it and they're going to say, hey, you know, you're obviously not coming to visit. Your intention might be different because you're coming with all your worldly items.
Yeah.
So, right?
It signals something else. Yeah. Right.
Exactly,
that you're here to stay. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So these officers are well trained. And so obviously we would guide our clients that if their intention is to visit, then they should obviously present themselves as visitors, so that the visit is temporary. And of course, the other thing is that they have a round trip ticket or a means of returning to someplace outside that country as a manifestation of their non-immigrant intent.
Wow. Thank you for that, Gagan and David, really throwing light on very tricky issue right there, all about visitor insurance, visitors visa, and also the intention behind it. So there you have it, folks. The NPZ Law Group is your one-stop shop for the entire range of US and Canadian immigration matters. Don't hesitate to reach out to them today by logging on to visaserve.com or set an appointment at 201-670-0006. More insights on immigration with the NPZ Law Group. We'll be back in a jiffy. You keep listening to Mirchi. It's hot.